Hi, beautiful people. Hi, lovely people. Hi, gorgeous and amazing people. It's your one and only Enoble, guys. Thanks for stopping on my channel. If this is your first time stopping here, please don't forget to press that red button. Subscribe to our channel, guys, please. Then please don't forget to like and share our videos. Then a nice comment will also go a very, very long way, guys. So guys, let's dive into the video of today. So guys, today we're going to be discussing on choices and consequences, guys. Our decisions and our consequences, guys. Well, the beautiful thing about life is that God has given us our freedom to make our choices. Yes, He gave us the freedom to make your choice, whatever you want to, however you want to live your life. You're free to live it whichever way you want to live your life. But at the same time, the consequences is ours to bear. And we can also remember that the Newton's law says that every choice, every law has an opposite reaction. So it means that whatever decision you're making, whatever choice you're choosing today, it has an opposite reaction. Yes, you can't take that away from it. So today we're going to just discuss by set the term decision and consequence. Every day we have choices to make, and each choice has its own consequences. Yes, and the consequences could either be positive or negative. It all depends on this decision we made. It all depends on the choice we made. Yes, your choices, your decision determines the consequence you're going to get, the result you're going to get. Yes, guys. So that means choices is very important to put into consideration. Our decisions are very important. Every choice you make has a consequence. Every choice, every decision you make has a consequence. So it means whenever you're making a decision, try and weigh the consequence. What will be the consequence of this decision? If I'm seeing these red flags, I still choose to go ahead with this guy. Well, you already know the consequence. So you're going to make, it's now in your power to make a decision if you want to go on with such a guy or you want to call it a quits. I'm done. Know when to draw the line. Know when. Every day we have choices to make, and each choice has a consequence or result. And the consequence of our choices could either be positive or negative. It all depends on the decision, on the choice we went for. Wise choices has good results, and foolish choices has its own negative consequences. Because since our life plays out as a result of the decisions we make, it means we are in control of our life. Somehow we are in control. So our life unfolds in series of choices, in series of decisions that we have made. You make good decisions, your life unfolds in a good way. You make bad decisions, your life also unfolds in that way. That's why I said from the beginning of the video that we are free to make our choices. Also, the consequences is ours to bear. So on another note, choice is what you decide to do and what you decide not to do. Yeah, you could decide to do something, that's a choice. If you could decide not to do something, that's also a choice. For example, you could decide to eat healthy. That's a choice. You've made a choice to eat healthy, and surely you're going to get the consequences. Consequence of eating healthy is a healthy life. You could decide not to eat healthy. You've made a choice to not to eat healthy, to eat calories, take junks, and so many other stuff. That's a decision you've made, and it also comes with its own consequences. Yes, you could also decide to ignore the red flags in a relationship. You're in a relationship, you're seeing the visible red flag, you're seeing that these things are not right. If I should go on with this guy, I'm going to have problems with him. We are not going to have a happy marriage. But you choose to ignore those red flags simply because of your lust, love, whatever you call it. Well, that's a decision you've made. And oftentimes, you will also bear the consequences. We've seen lots of people bearing their consequences. Yeah, people who ignore the red flags even while they were dating a guy and eventually married the guy thinking that, oh, maybe if I get married to him, these things may not happen. And it's still playing out. That is as a result of decisions that they have made. So your decisions equals your result, equals your consequences. What you decide to ignore today will determine what you get to see tomorrow. And what you decide to deal with today will determine the results tomorrow. So decision making is a very important part of our lives. Our choices are very important. It's important to make the right choices, to make good choices in life, since our choices determines how our life actually oftentimes plays out. You could decide to save. Like I said before, our choices can either be something we decide to do or something we decide not to do. For some people, they've decided to save, and yes, you know the outcome of someone who saves. Yeah. And some people, they decided not to save, they squander the moment money gets into their hand. They don't even know how it goes, just happens and they squander it. Well, it's still going to consequence at the end of the day, is still ours to bear. So whatever decisions you make, the consequence is yours to bear. You could decide that, oh, I'm going to exercise every day. Well, we also know the consequence. The truth is, there are some choices we make that we ourselves know the consequence of such choices. Yes, most of the choices we make, not all though, oftentimes we know the consequence of such choices. If I decide to save, to be a saver, I should know the consequence of such choices. It means I'm planning. If you decide to stay healthy, you know your family, you guys are the big size, the plus size, and you choose to eat recklessly, well, you already know what you're driving at. That's the decision that you have made. Still talking about choices. You could decide to be happy. You could decide that irrespective of whatever is happening around me, I choose to be happy. Like I always say, happiness is a choice. It's a choice. No one has it all to actually just be happy. There will always be something that will want to threaten your joy, steal your joy. So it has to be an intentional decision. If you see happy people, ask them why they are actually so happy. Oftentimes, it's not because they do not have problems in their life, but because they have made a choice to be happy, irrespective of whatever happens or plays out in their life. Still on choices, guy. You could decide, you choose to let your problem get the best of you or not. There are people that you see going through a particular problem, yes, but that problem is not telling on them in any way. It's a choice. It's not that they are hard-hearted or they just know. They made a choice that, well, I know I'm going through this, but I shouldn't allow this steal my joy. We've seen parents of sickle cell children, and somehow they just found a way to manage the situation. And you still see them put a smile on their face. You still see them happy, and you wonder, like, ma, you've been going through this all your life. How do you find a place for happiness? Well, it's a choice. It's a choice. And you also see some other persons who are sickle cell parents, and still they allow the situation get the best of them. It all depends on the choice and decision you have made. So life is a series of choices. It's a series of choices. However, your life will play out is as a result of the choices that you've made. If you decide to be in school and waste your time in school, party, follow guys, it's the choice that you have made. And the consequences is also yours to bear. We also know the consequence of such a life. If you decide to be focused in school because you know why you are there, I'm here to get the grades, so I need to be focused at this time to do what brought me here. Yes, if you decide to do that, we also know the result of such decision. You're going to come out with a good result, definitely. So life is a series of the decisions and the choices that we make. So the question now is, what choice are you making? What decision are you going for? Are you making wise choices or you're making foolish choices? Are you ignoring the red flags? Are you covering up for this guy? Ask yourself, what choices am I going for? Am I going for wise choices or am I making foolish choices? Because like I said before, your choices determine the outcome of your life somehow. So guys, considering the potential consequences of a decision is very, very important in decision making. So before making a decision, weigh it out and see what will be the consequence of this decision. Then that will help you make a wise and a better decision. Every choice or decision we make can either impact our life, either in a good or a bad way, either in a positive or a negative way, every choice. So it means that decision is very, very important. As human beings, we should take our decisions into proper consideration. Our choices should be scrutinized. We should make sure that at all time we are making the best decision. For example, yeah, some people could have 500,000 now, and before you know weekend, they already squandered that money. But there's another person who will have that 500,000 is already calculating, okay, how much am I going to save? How much am I going to do? You need to just put things into proper perspectives. Your decisions actually determine your future. And that person who had 500,000 and squandered it, tomorrow, next week, is already looking for someone to borrow him maybe 5,000 naira or 2,000 naira. Well, it's as a result of the decision he made. He decided to squander it, decided to not plan ahead, and that is already bearing the consequences, you borrowing at the end of the day, becoming stranded. But the other person puts so many things into consideration. How much am I going to save? How much am I going to spend? Decision making, planning, decision making, choices. Your choices you make, who you marry determines, like they always say, determines a whole lot of things. So when choosing a life partner, there are so many things you need to put into consideration. You don't just choose it as a result of your love. No, I don't think marriage or choosing a life partner is something you should decide as a result of your emotions. You shouldn't choose or make that decision with your emotions. There are so many things that needs to be put into proper perspective before making that big decision, because marriage is a lifetime decision. It's not something you should just decide or make with your emotions or because of how you. Yes, guys. There are three C's in decision making. One of them is clarity. The second is consideration. The third is choose. And when it has to do with clarity, clarity is you picking out, writing out those choices, those decisions that you're about to make. Write them out. It could be three, A, B, C. Write them out. Okay. Then consideration is you considering the consequence of these three decisions. If I choose A, what will be my result? If I choose B, what will be my result? If I choose C, what will be my result? What will be my consequences? That is the consideration stage. Yeah. Then the choose stage is after writing out these considerations, the choose stage is time for you to choose. Considering the consequences you've written out for these three decisions that you want to make, it's now time for you to choose on the one you want to go for. And when choosing, you're definitely going to go for the wiser decision, the one with the better consequences, the one with the best consequences, with the wisest consequences. That is definitely the one you will go for. The reason I had to make this video is because decision making, the choices we make, is very important. It's not something we should ignore, because however our life will play out, our decision, our choices is what will determine it. If we make wise decisions, then our life, we are sure of something good. If you make foolish decisions, then the outcome too, we already know the outcome. So I feel it's not something we should just ignore. At every point in time, whatever decision you want to make, always weigh the consequences of that decision, of that choices that you're making. Yes, guys, this brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. See you some other time. Bye.